as we look at the entrance to Shooting Butt School, now called Shooting Butt Centre, the first view that excited boys and girls had of their new school in the country, can I just say a few words by way of introduction? My name is John Godwin, and I taught at Shooting Butt School from the time that it was taken over by a Staffordshire Education Committee in 1948 until I left with my wife in 1955 to take up a headship in Cornwall. I had met my wife at Shooting Butt School. She was the PE mistress, Miss Walsh, and we were married in 1952. This video film came into being because one of the former pupils of the school, Graham Anslow, whom I taught, has a radio and TV business in Rugeley, and he thought it would be a good idea to present a film as part of the reunion celebrations. He asked me to add a suitable commentary. Now, I must admit that it was a sad occasion for me to see the school, which carries so many happy memories for so many boys and girls, in such a sad state. But I agreed to add a bit of commentary, including a little bit of the history of the school, and also a few personal comments. Shooting Butt School was built on a site of about 30 acres by the National Camps Corporation not long before the outbreak of World War II. About 30 similar schools were built in various parts of the country, and much of the money came from a grant from the King George V Jubilee Trust. A similar school was built at Pipewood on the other side of Rugeley. The buildings were constructed of Canadian cedar wood. There's a lovely shot of the sick bay, and we pan round to the quarters of the headmaster and the camp manager there, and there in the distance we see the boiler house, and here we have a view of the staff quarters where all the domestic staff live. There are still one or two of these staff around in Rugeley, by the way. I often see one of them, whose name was Violet. I can't remember her other name. This is the boiler house, of course, where in my day the boilermen were young Mr. Croomins and his father. They used to keep the water hot in the winter and keep the heating circulating around the dormitories. They're still very much alive. Well, not the father, but the son is very much alive, and they live in Etching Hill. Mr. Croomins married Charlotte, the cook, at Shooting Butt School. So it was quite a place for... Now we're looking up the other way up the drive, back at the staff quarters again, and panning round now to the assembly hall, about which perhaps we can have something more to say in a minute. Down past the tuck shop, down to the main dining hall and the food store at the back. The idea behind these schools was that children from the industrial areas of this country should spend a period of their school life in the country so as to give them an idea of country life while continuing their basic education in the classroom. It was envisaged that a headmaster should take charge of the education of the children, while the resident camp manager, appointed by the National Camps Corporation and of equal status with the headmaster, should take charge of all the domestic arrangements, including the feeding. During the war years, children from Birmingham made good use of the school with their teachers, and this proved very useful in getting many children away from the bombing. After the war, the school was used full time by children from Holland who were seriously undernourished as the result of the Nazi occupation of their country. Now, Graham's given us a very, very good look at the driveway and all the buildings associated with it, as I say, because this was the first impression that people had of the school when they entered it. These lovely surroundings with the pine forests. They came through the pine forest by bus and then down this lovely driveway which is kept in immaculate condition. This is the end of the assembly hall here, and here is the main assembly hall. The end of the assembly hall was some more of the domestic staff lived in there. And here we have a place that must have been dear to the hearts of many of them, the school tuck shop. And the back of the dining hall and the food store and the outbuildings relating to the kitchen. In 1947, the school was leased from the National Camps Corporation by Staffordshire Education Committee. It was planned to hold short courses for children from the built-up areas of the Black Country, to give them an idea of a completely different kind of life and to help them to stand on their own feet. No senior child from Staffordshire County area was excluded, and of course at this time the county area included much of what is now the Black Country. And in fact, children from secondary modern schools over a wide area came with their teachers to sample the delights of the countryside. Here we have some views of some of the dormitories on what was in my day the boys' side. Anson House and Mitchell House. Johnson House, unfortunately, is not there anymore. Some people were having a bonfire down below, and the sparks caught Johnson House and set it on fire and had to be demolished. Now here's a very sad sight for the girls. Wedgwood House and Bolton House, only the pillars, the concrete pillars on which they stood, remain. And the ablutions block and the craft block, the domestic science block, perhaps it's better known, are all gone, and only the ghosts remain. There's the classroom block at the back, and here's a front view of the dining hall, and what a derelict place it looks now. What a dreadful place it looks, and of course there's the front view of the tuck shop again. Most of the boys and girls thoroughly enjoyed themselves at their new school, and they didn't want to leave when the time came. Just a few became homesick, and some tried to run away. One girl wrote home and said, "Mum, I do miss my pint of beer." And another one said, "Cor, I've never seen so many trees in all my life." In an effort to cheer up one depressed girl, the headmaster put his finger under her chin to raise her head and talk to her. A few minutes later, the father arrived to see the head. The girl greeted the father in serious tones, and pointing to the head, she said emphatically, "That man's just tried to murder me." Here we have another view of the classroom block, and underneath this tree, in my day, there was a lovely round seat round the bottom of the tree. All brings the memories flooding back. And here's, oh dear, here's the staff room. What a shadow of its former self, where all the staff had gathered for a chat and a cup of tea, and for their nighttime reminiscences of all the day's happenings. It became clear after a short period that the need of the school was for courses of more than a term, and some boys and girls were obviously keen to finish their school days there. The first Staffordshire headmaster was Mr. W.J. Kimberley, and he left in 1950, and he was succeeded by Mr. James Wilde, under whose leadership the school gradually evolved into a full residential secondary modern school. Mr. Wilde died sadly after some years as head, and he was succeeded by a member of the school staff, Mr. Bob Owen. The last headmaster of the school was Mr. Christophers. Now here's another sad view here, this time, well, I know it's very sad. It's a picture of what used to be the sewer of the camp, and I can remember some very enthusiastic boys who were doing rural science under Mr. Bonham, one of the teachers there, who took the boys down there in their Wellingtons, and they dug out all this sewerage and spread it on the garden. But it's now a pool, as you can see. It's filled in with water. Here we are again, another view of Wedgwood and Bolton, and the craft block, the domestic science block, and the ablution block. Now all gone, razed to the ground, except for those concrete pillars. And looking across the lawn, which was so beautifully kept in my day, to the buildings on the other side. There are the boys' dormitories on the other side, not Johnson House, unfortunately, because that was burned down. People often ask why it was let go, why it was abandoned as a school. Well, not long after Staffordshire Education Committee adopted the principle of comprehensive education as the policy for Staffordshire County, it was decided to close Shooting Butt School because it couldn't be seen how that type of school would fit in with a comprehensive ethos This is what was told to me by the staff at the time. I haven't had this direct from the Education Authority. Staffordshire Education Committee had purchased the school itself from the National Camps Corporation during Mr. Wilde's time as headmaster. And the National Camps Corporation manager, Mr. Squire Yarrow, who incidentally was a well-known Olympics runner, was succeeded by Mr. Sylvester, a Staffordshire Education Committee employee who was, of course, under the control of the headmaster. Still more views across the lawn, and here we have views past the offices, and look at the side of Anston and Mitchell House, with all the junk lying there now, a mere shadow of its former self, the white paint peeling, and all those happy associations of neat, trim-kept buildings have gone. Here we have the offices, the headmaster's office on the left-hand side, and the secretary's office on the right-hand side. This is where the post used to come in the morning, and where people used to have to go to gather to get the post and take it down to the dormitories for distribution. What memories all these buildings do evoke, and I'm sure that many of the old pupils here today will echo these sentiments. Across the lawn to the now gone dormitories, two yellow skips there waiting to collect the rubbish. They're quite near the swimming pool, which is long since gone. It caved in, and they used to, in latter days, they had bonfires in there. They thought they were safe from the sparks spreading, but of course, as I told you, one spark did spread into Johnson House roof, and the cedar tree shingle soon caught fire very quickly. Here we are at the back of Anson and Mitchell House, and the boys' ablution block. How many boys used to run in shorts from the dormitory to the showers and back again, having had a good hot shower to get into bed. And this was, in my day, this field was the garden, beautifully kept, now grown over and no longer anymore a garden, but just a field. Looking out to the road there and the forest beyond, the forest which caused the girl to say, "Cor, I've never seen so many trees in all my life." Beautiful long pan across the field here to the forest beyond, and the road going, the traffic going by on the Bankridge Bank road beyond. After the school was closed, some of the staff quarters continued to be lived in by teachers and officials of Staffordshire County Council who had recently come into the area and who were looking round for more permanent accommodation. The former sick bay continued in use as a centre for field studies on a day basis, but the dormitories and other buildings fell into disuse. The central heating system cracked in the frost and was ruined. Surplus educational furniture was stored in the dormitories, but decay quickly set in. The swimming pool, which was originally built as a static water tank in case of fire, was broken up and used as a site for bonfires. Johnson House caught fire during such a bonfire and had to be demolished, as I've told you. Other buildings are to follow suit. Soon the school, which attracted so many teenagers from all over Staffordshire, will be no more, apart from a few buildings which are to be preserved for field studies. The names of the schoolhouses, Johnson, Wedgwood, Bolton, Mitchell, all names of famous Staffordshire people, will remain only in the hearts of the boys and girls who lived in them. And now, here we have a place which must have been the most precious, the most dear to the hearts of all those boys and girls who went to the school. This was over the back. Over the back. What thoughts that those words must evoke. Here we are over the back, the most treasured part of the grounds, where boys and girls walked in their free time, where so many friendships were formed, where so many boys and girls sampled for the first time the love of the delights of the countryside. Winding pathways, gnarled trees, carpets of leaves, a babbling brook, So different from the noise and bustle, the grime, the dirt, the concrete and bricks, and the litter of the towns. Truly, truly a haven of peace. There were many other things to be seen over the back, which I won't dwell on just at this moment. Here we are. Graham's given us a very, very good view as we go over the back. He spent a long time over here because he knows that this place was so very dear to the hearts of the boys and girls. Has the school been worth it? This must exercise the minds of many of you. Well, that really is something for you who went to Shooting Butts to decide. Certainly, many lasting friendships were forged at Shooting Butts School. Certainly, many town children thoroughly enjoyed the thrill of spending their school days in the country. Certainly, many children who were fed up with their former school found new opportunities for study and learning in Shooting Butts School. Certainly, many boys and girls learned to stand on their own feet in this, perhaps their first stay away from home without their parents. To many children, the highlight of their stay was the weekly dance or the weekly cinema show. Others enjoyed the rambles over Cannock Chase. How many of you enjoyed filling in your dance cards for the Christmas dinner and dance? How many enjoyed the end-of-term dances where you knew that the teachers were hell-bent on tiring you out in the vain hope that you'd all go to sleep quickly on the last night of term? You knew better, though, didn't you? Others of you enjoyed the sports days or the dormitory sing-songs. Now, the school as you and they knew it is no more. It will never rise again to its former state, and many will weep tears at its passing. But the sadness that many will feel as they survey the crumbling woodwork and the flaking paint around them will be offset by so many happy memories. May all former pupils of Shooting Butts School take pride in the fact that they participated in what was, for Staffordshire, a unique educational experiment. And may they always carry with them treasured memories of the days they spent at Shooting Butts School. A final glimpse of over the back. And now here we are on the roadside outside the school, taking a last look down at the school, nestling in the hollow there with the chase and the tree-lined slopes of the chase behind. And as we take this, our last look at the school where we spent so many happy days, perhaps we can let our thoughts wander, each in our own way, over our own memories. I think of the sports days that were held on the field, the sports shields that were won and lost, the pole vaulting, the hurdles, the long jump, and all the other items, and of the many boys and girls who ran their hearts out in an effort to be first in their particular race for their house. I think of the sick day and the nurses who looked after us all so well when we were ill, of the seamstress who mended our clothes and sewed on our buttons, of the domestic staff who changed the sheets every week, and who looked after us by keeping the dormitories warm, who kept us fed in the dining hall. Perhaps not exactly the food that we wanted, but they kept us fed all the same and kept us happy. And as we think of those happy days and come back to the present time when so many of us have made good in the world, may I close by wishing all of you all the very best of luck for the future. And I know, in fact, that the chase and Shooting Butt School will always carry with it a very treasured place in your hearts. Good luck to all of you. Thank you for listening to me.
one reason or another, I thank you all. But can I say a very, very special thank you to Jeff Hopkinson this evening? Is he here, Jeff? No? How dare you not be here? Well, Jeff Hopkinson, are you here? He wasn't. Oh, well, he has been tremendous. And the work he has done has been absolutely incredible over the last 2 years. Can you not hear well? Open your ears then. Just listen and be quiet, else you'll stand in the corner. I must say a very special thank you also to David and Aileen Sunderland. Can you just come forward, please, for one moment? Thank you very much for all your help. All these ones, David and Aileen Sunderland, can you come forward, please? What can I say? Carol. My right arm, Carol Talbot. You probably remember one of the triplets. There was Heather, and there was George, and there was Carol. Better known as Topsy, as I'm sure to an awful lot of you. She has just been wonderful. I can't say that we were very close friends at school. Carol was a couple of years ahead of me, but over the last few months I feel we've become firm friends and got to know each other very, very well, and hope for many, many years to come we'll be close friends. And thank you, Carol, so much. I'm very, very grateful for all your help, and thank you for being my right hand.
Lady.
And Vinny, where would I be without you? Goodness me, this man. My husband, to those of you who don't know, is a psychiatrist, and I can tell you, I have been on the couch every week for 6 months. I think I've been going quite mad at times. So, Vinny, thank you very much, darling. And when the phone laws had come in, my God, I thought he was going to have a coronary. But he's still here. Thank you, darling, for everything. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you very, very much. And to all of you, thank you for making this probably the happiest day of my life. Thank you.
Generation game, actually, where I made a complete and utter balls of myself. I'll probably do the same again tonight. The most important thing is, first of all, I would like to thank the teachers that have come tonight. There's Mrs. Brockhouse, Mrs. Derry, and the page 3 photographer of Shooting Butts, who everybody does remember, Mr. Derry, who I can assure you has left us with a lot of happy memories, not me necessarily receiving the slipper, but at least being able to obtain certain photographs tonight. Now, I might be in a position, I cannot not so sure yet, of the certain group photographs, I might be able to get copies taken off them, and then I would have to liaise with Ollie and forward you on any photographs that I can obtain. And any monies that would be received would be going to the hospice, which Ollie is forwarding any money taken on tonight will go forward to. I would like to say a special thank you to Vinny, because hopefully there will be copies of the video that he's been taking all through the day. But I think the most important thing, and I know this is going to come up shortly, is to Ollie. Ollie, would you like to come forward, please? Just a little something from some of us and something else to come. So if you would stay down here.
Well, Ollie, time to put the careless way out. I've got someone else who's talking for me. I just want to say a big thank you to everybody. The donations you all gave today made £31 for the hospice. Thank you very, very much. Okay, and Ollie, a little gift from everyone for you. Many, many thanks.
windswept field on Cannock Chase was the unusual setting for a party at the weekend. Hundreds of guests turned up, some had come from the other side of the world. All of them had come to say farewell to a dilapidated military base which was once their school. Virtually all the former pupils had been tracked down. Our man who gate-crashed the party was Len Tingle.
1951, and a schoolboy in his first long trousers proudly poses in front of his school. 37 years later, that same schoolboy tries to bring back some of the memories. And he wasn't alone. Hundreds of former pupils at one of the Midlands' most unusual schools came for a last look before it's demolished. Shooting Butts Residential School at Cannock Chase in Staffordshire was first an army barracks, then a Second World War evacuee camp, then for about 25 years a boarding school. It's been closed since the 1970s, and now it's to be flattened to make way for a conservation centre. Nurse Ollie Kumar, a pupil in the 60s, hit upon the idea of the reunion, and it snowballed. Ollie, this must be the first time you ever set foot in that particular former dormitory,
yes,
isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's absolutely incredible. That was totally out of bounds. There was the boys' side of the school, which was here, which was Anson and Johnson, and the girls' side of the school, which was Wedgwood and Bolton.
I don't think I've ever seen a school based on Nissen huts before.
Yes, it's quite incredible, isn't it, really? But this is just exactly how it was. Obviously, minus a couple of dormitories, but this was it, and it was the most wonderful school. But we had people flying in from all over the world, Germany, Geneva, and various places. Even New Zealand, someone has flown in from for a week's holiday. So it's been quite remarkable.
It's because of its remote location on the Chase and its relatively short life as a school that this collection of ex-army huts has probably changed less than the faces of some of its former pupils. So with the demolition men poised, it was a last chance to remember a bit of unusual educational history which will never be repeated again.